I'm feeling it too.
Yeah,
that's why I turned the hat.
Let me get
Like,
my
they
water.
can't see me like that.
Alright. I'm looking rough.
Facts. I'm today. I'm not feeling fire, but it's all good.
Nah, you was looking good with the backwards cap. I was about to tell you that, boy.
Word?
It was a look. It's always a vibe when you do your backwards cap, though. I can run.
Word.
I can feel that too. I know that goes. Backwards cap, yeah.
Don't guess.
No, seriously though, with the picture Omar posted today, backwards cap is fire.
I did too. I'm like, Omar looking
Scrumptious. Yo, nah, the backwards cap is always
looking
like
like money, son.
You got to get it at the right like length. Yeah. Really slide, bro.
Yeah,
I made a mirror like this. Nah,
you gotta show the amount of head and hair.
exactly, boy. Because when you keep it closer to the eyebrows, then you look mad mysterious. Nah, this really is a tough question.
That is a tough question.
I like
to
to
go
go
so many different ways.
Man, we're probably gonna have to start with you again. that was dope.
I bet. Yeah, I'm gonna just start it off because I don't really know if I have a thought after that. I gotta bounce off people now. But like, I think that's definitely.
No, that was
came on mine. You never know. I'm just thinking of what humanity thinks right now.
For a podcast, but yo. Welcome back. We're here with another question of the day. Gang. You know,
It's good.
the Brody O is back. The Brody B is back.
Yes, sir.
The trio is here. Getting ready to explore another fun question.
Right.
I kind of just threw it at them, right before we got on camera. So, we got all jittery about it. We got really excited. We explored it just a little bit, but again, we wanted to save it, for you guys. So the question of the day is, what should be the goal for humanity? That's a pretty dense question. At least to me, and I know, you guys had similar thoughts. Like, that's a very dense question that can go in a lot of different directions. Just because we see in society today, like, there's so many different goals and agendas out there for what we want humanity to be, but as a collective, I think we're slacking. So what should be our goal? What should be the goal for humanity moving forward? What should we be trying to accomplish or achieve in our time here on Earth? So that is the question of the day. I know, B, you kind of had a quick little counter or quick little question that kind of stumped us in the beginning. So we're gonna start off with him right now. He's famous and he's dropping a lot of gems early. In his bag early.
In my duffel.
Nah.
Someone
get that
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you for passing off to me.
Of course.
So I mean, I like he said when he first asked it, I was just silent for a second. I'm like, I don't even know how to answer that question. But then I started to think, okay, what do we currently do? I just started there, like as a collective humanity. And I feel like the goal right now is not, at least what currently is happening, is we all have our own collective, nations, our own collective agendas, and instead of trying to find a common ground, I feel like what we're doing right now is we're all simply trying to coexist with our individual agendas. You know what I mean? And that's kind of was my first thought, and I don't know if you have thoughts on that or bounce off that.
It's tough. Because like you said, that is what we're currently doing right now. We're all existing in our own individual collectives.
Which is that bad? Is that bad?
I don't think it's bad, but in order to be our most elevated selves as a collective, we can be individuals at the same time, but like I mentioned to you off camera, we need the common goal underneath all of it that ties it together, because if there's no common goal, there's nothing that's going to bring us really together. We have to, even on the same path, like I was just referencing, if we're a team and we're going towards the same goal, we're all individuals in our own right. but there's a common goal that's uniting us and pushing us towards. So the difference doesn't matter because you can embrace the difference because we're still going to the same place. But if you don't have the same place that you're going, it's hard to embrace the differences. The similarities, because all you look at is the differences.
Okay, I hear what you're saying.
That's what I was thinking.
What I'm thinking is it's really cliche, but I guess it's world peace, I guess, right? And I feel like if we were to achieve that, like if we were to achieve like coexisting within our own agendas, I guess that is achieving that common goal of world peace, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? So even if we're all individually doing our own things, the common goal, I guess, this is just first thought, like is cliche world peace, you know what I mean? And I feel like if we all do, because I just feel like as a humanity, like if we all did agree at some point, it wouldn't last long. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think that's kind of the best way to achieve world peace, not trying to necessarily do the same, unite in that way, but unite in the cause for world peace.
That's what I'm
saying. That's exactly what you're saying.
And you were more along that line as well.
That's essentially what I'm saying.
And I would say I agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think we all have to be doing it the same way, right? We brought up the example, like, if we're trying to influence or we're trying to enlighten, right? There's multiple different ways to do that. So, you know, in the case of world peace, I think we can accomplish it, but we don't always have to be we don't all have to be following the same route. So you would say that's the common goal right now, is to get world peace? Like, is that the common goal for humanity, is like all of us getting on the same page, essentially?
That's what I think so.
Okay.
Currently.
But what would be, I guess what I want to know is, what is that goal that we're uniting towards? Like, what are we trying to accomplish, humanity all together? Because even when we get to world peace, like, what are we trying to accomplish? Like, what is our purpose?
Bro, and that's why I think...
That's the question.
What does all this mean, though?
Yeah, we peaceful, but what are we doing?
Right.
And that's why I truly think, you know, thinking about it in this moment is just being the best version of ourselves. Because at the same time, when we're the best version of ourselves, the collective gets better. The greater you are, the greater the team gets. And if everybody's individually trying to be the best version of ourselves, I think world peace comes out of that. But there's a mission that moves past it. We're trying to be the best that we can be. And what is the best that we can be? That varies for each person. But I think if we're all pushing towards being our best selves, right, we'll erase a lot of the things that we're doing that avoids us from getting there in today's world. If we're all just trying to be the best version of ourselves, if we can agree upon that, then we can have those world peace. We can accept differences. We can. We won't be doing a lot of the things that we're doing, destroying the earth, extincting all these species, like, you know, because we're trying to be the best that we can be. And I was saying this to you, that we have this capability to think and to do very extraordinary things. You know, we have the ability to help out other animals. You know, like we can go past survival mode. And we can really build things, and we should take advantage of that. We've been using that for destruction so much throughout history. If you look at it, all the wars, all the fighting, it's just very destructive. We're not using that ability to be the best that we can possibly be. You know, and then with me, I just think it's just being the best versions of ourselves. Because from that, so much, you can take so much out of that. Like I'm saying, the peace, you can take this, you can take that. But if we're all striving to elevate, right? You can't. What happens when you see people on social media and you see them doing their thing? You like, bro, get it? Like, when you see people elevate, it makes you, like, naturally, even sometimes the ego may come out. Underneath it all, you feel that, like, I want to elevate too. That's why I say, if you elevate, next person elevates. We'll all just as a collective get to that.
That kind of triggered a thought from I heard you guys know who T.D. Jakes is? You've heard of him?
T.D.
No, I've heard T.
Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Yeah. I heard him one time. He said he was talking about, he was like describing animals. He was talking about, okay, like the cheetah has, we all have our different defenses. So like the cheetah has its speed. That's his defense. Like the lion has its I don't know, I can't remember what specific it is, but it's rage. He's the king. Like he has his defense mechanism. The birds can fly. So that's their defense. Ours, like it just when you said we have this ability to think, that's our defense. Like our mind,
our competitive advantage,
our ability to think. And I was thinking like maybe we haven't been able to achieve that human goal, that humanity goal, whatever it is, because we're all, at least as a collective, using it as a defense, like for, like how you said, like when you were saying that people are, like you are happy for people, you know what I mean, like, and then I can level up too, you know what I mean, which is good. But I just feel like as a collective throughout human history, it's always like we're not using it. I guess we're not using our mind we're using it for defense, not offense. I don't know, like if that makes sense. I don't know.
We're using it to fulfill self.
Yeah. When it's so,
I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, it just triggered that kind of. I don't really know what
to say. People, you have wars because we thought differently on a subject, and we're killing each other because we thought differently about something. You know, like,
it's interesting.
We've been using it, like you just said, as defense. In ways that don't bring out the best of us from the jump.
From the jump, it's a defense. Like, I think it's
because we're using it as only to think of survival.
And
it goes back to the health video I did. Check that out if you haven't. But it has like the RDAs that I kept saying. You have your recommended daily amounts of certain nutrients you need. And in the disease delusion book that he mentioned, it says that's just to survive. And what we've been doing is thinking just to survive. But to be optimal, he says you need much more nutrition. See, why are you just trying to survive? Aren't you trying to be optimal? And that's what I think of when you just said using our minds. It's like we're using it to survive. But when are we going to use it to be optimal? The best that we can be. The highest part. We're just using it to survive, just to make it by. You know, just to survive another day. When we can do so much more, especially in the world we're living in now, and with all the technology that we're doing, like we can take it to another level. And I don't even know what else is out there that we can do if we really use. You know.
No, I agree, and you know that's aligns more where I stand on this. Like, you know, I know my primary goal is to tap into the highest level of consciousness, but I think that should be humanity's goal as well. And I think we do that by being completely selfless and trying to, you know, advance the world more than when we were first put here. Like they say, you know, leave the world a better place than how you found it. But I think what actions do we take in the day-to-day to really create that kind of advancement for you know, humanity? And I think it takes, you know, influencing, inspiring, educating, teaching, uplifting. I think that should be humanity's goal. Is how can we uplift self, of course, but how can I uplift the people around me? Because then when we all elevate, it's like, you know, in this book that I just finished reading, Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler, great read. You know, Lauren, the main character, she believes the humanity's goal should be to take root amongst the stars. So it's like you evolve to the point where you can leave Earth and expand infinite universes. Why? Because you've uplifted everybody, you've educated, you've learned the sciences, you've learned everything there is, and now you're like, bro, there's nothing left for me here. I can elevate. And we were saying, we brought up the example with people like, you know, Oprah and all your really top influencers, like they've kind of transcended human form. like they're so elevated, they've kind of transcended human form, and they uplift and enlighten the people around them. So
you're known for making the world
you're known for making the world a better place. And how do we look at them? We're like, nah, they're not human. Like they're just different. You know, like, and I personally believe that. Like I feel like when you tap into the highest level of self, you are above your human form. And that's what I would say. So I think our common goal should be to advance not only human life, but life. Advance it, not destroy it, not create chaos, not kill each other off, but how can I advance not only myself, but the people around me? And I feel like that should be our collective goal.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree.
And it goes to what you usually say. It's like, I didn't ask to be here. I just popped up in this world. But I want to see from this experience everything I can experience. Like I want to know what are the limits to, if there is limits. What is the limit? I want to push the boundaries because I want to see this experience all the way for what it is and experience that to the fullest degree. Because that was what else, and that's the question I've been trying to figure out is what else am I here for then? Like if I'm not over here trying to experience life to the greatest degree because I was born into this world, you know, I didn't ask to be here. Like I was born into this world. It's like, bro, while I'm here for the years that because I don't know, what I believe, I don't know what happens after this, right? Nobody comes back and tells you this is what happens in the afterlife. I don't really know. So it's like, but I know this. This is what I do know at this time. So why not live it to the greatest degree I can? And from that, that's why I say the best version of ourselves, because it's like, bro, let's just see what we can do. What's the boundaries? What can we do? And do that in a loving way. And like we said, that is the thing is that you can have the individual, but we talked about this on a team. Everybody has roles on a team, but when you get too individual, now you're a detriment to the team. You're so individual that it hurts the team. Instead of being an individual but benefiting the team. And a lot of times that's what we do. We keep thinking about our own self-gain to the point that we're hurting our team, hurting the earth, hurting, you know, all of these different factors because we think we're too individual to the point that we don't think about the team. When you can be individual and still have a team at the same time.
When they don't realize, I think Coach Calipari, like he said it in the Ben Simmons doc where he was just like these guys don't realize, like these star players who are coming off the bench, they don't realize if we win, everyone eats. Like everyone eats. If these guys are trying to be individuals, you know what I mean? Like, and they're good enough to be, you know what I mean? They were, you know what I mean? But they have to sacrifice a little bit in order for everybody to eat. And I feel like that's a struggle for humanity. You know what I mean? That's what it should be. But it's a struggle for humanity.
Because it is ego, pride, it is power, it is greed. What do they call it? The 7 deadly sins? Essentially, that's what it is that kind of drives it down.
The episode we did last? Last time.
Like, they are those things that keep us down. And
it ties right in.
It kind of ties in.
You know, the darkness, it's like, the darkness is there. And but I think it is easier to spread love. To spread positivity. But, you know, me and my dad were talking about it like all day today, and, you know, did you really have a purpose existing if you didn't push humanity forward? Like, if you didn't uplift anybody, if you didn't make a contribution, if you didn't literally make the world a better place than when you found it, like, did you really exist? It's like when you tweeted out, like, if you're around me, I'm going to make you better. I'm going to push you to be better. I think that should be the common goal is we push each other to get better, to elevate, to enlighten and awaken people, because even to your point, you can't reach your highest level of self without other people.
Right.
Because you don't have all the answers. So I need you. I need you. Right? It's better for me to have a discussion with you guys than try to ponder life on my own, because you both have perspectives that I don't have. I have perspectives that you don't have. But we all elevate together. Us sitting here, we explore together and we learn, and that we're all going up here. And I think that should be the goal. But instead, we try to hoard it. We get the information, we want to keep the information. We get the money, we want to keep the money. You know, we get the wealth, we want to keep the wealth, but we don't want to share it and realize, to the Calipari point, to your point, we all eat when we share and support and love one another. So
Yeah.
I think our goal is, how do we get on the same page to where I look at you as me? Right? When I can look at you and I can look at you as me, and your success is my success and your happiness is my happiness, I think humanity will evolve leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And we could all probably relate, let me know, but that feeling when you are tapped in, when you are around other people that are elevating, at least for me, because I have that view of I want to see us all eat, is that there's no better sensation than being around people that are elevating too.
Yeah.
And when you say, like, think of when a lot of times, like, how can I look at you as like thinking of me? That's part of it. Like when you do think about it, it's the most warming feeling. Like when you're helping out other people, when people say, "Wow, you really made a difference," that's, to me, I feel
one of the most gratifying.
I feel warm, and I'm like, wow, like it feels like you had a meaning in that moment.
Absolutely.
Somebody says, "Wow, like you, wow, you really impacted me." When we said the other day when I was watching Becoming on Netflix,
and they crying when they
people
met
just
Michelle.
cried like to Michelle, like.
Yeah.
Think about that, because it's all at the end of the day, it's all vibration. We're all energy.
Yeah.
So if you're on that, and I don't know if you ever seen the measurements of emotions and energy, like love, the energy. You can literally measure love's vibration.
That's
right?
interesting.
You can well, because we're all energy. You can sense, and we can sense it.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You can feel someone's energy. Like we
Absolutely.
all are energy.
Absolutely.
So when you're think about like love, when you're in a real happy, how great that feels. Now imagine if the whole collective was on that wave.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the vibration and the elevation that comes with that feeling?
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
You know.
Yeah, I think that, like, in order to have that, because what you're describing, like, ultimately is empathy. Like, is having that ultimate empathy towards people. You know what I mean? And I feel like
I feel like a book.
For me, is it?
Lauren, she has a syndrome called hyperempathy. So she can feel others' pain and feel others'
perfect. Okay,
pleasure.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. So it makes a lot of sense. No, but like, yeah, that's essentially what it is. You know what I mean? It's that having that. It's. I was talking to my friend Nick today. And he was just saying, like, and I was talking about the conversation, because he liked the conversation we had. Yeah. And he's a pastor, like, he's a Christian, so we were talking that way. And he just thought it was interesting, but he was like, he said a phrase, and he was just like, and it's used a lot in the church, you know what I mean? Like, dying to your flesh. That's how they use it, you know what I mean? But in essence, what that means is being more empathetic, like, how can I serve you? Not how can this serve me? You know what I mean? Having a heart posture of servitude, of how can I help you? You know what I mean? How can I wait on you? You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I feel like having that, that's how I try to live my life. That's how I try to live, like, be humble. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the essence of it, because I feel like the ego for humanity does get in the way of that. You know what I mean? And I feel like if you can tap into that, have that posture of, okay, it's not about me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's when it can elevate, you know what I mean, to that level.
Yeah. I like that when you look at other people, like, how can I service you, or how can I elevate you? Yeah. I think that's big. Like, literally, if we all had that mindset of wanting to innately uplift the people around you, like, that's rare. Like, you ever just meet somebody so great and you're like, yo, like, you're just a great person. Like, what if we looked at everybody? What if I think everybody has that, and we talked about that in the last episode, like, you know, making the conscious decision. But I think everybody innately wants to see other people do well. They just don't know how to deal with it in a way that it doesn't reflect back on their own insecurities and things like that. But
balance.
The balance.
The balance.
Yeah, the balance.
I was about to bring up Star Wars again.
No, go.
I did, you know what I mean? That's the goal. Yeah. The whole thing. How can you balance? What was Anakin's? What was the prophecy of Anakin? he would bring balance to the force, right? You know what I mean? It's like,
force, baby.
And that
You
can,
know?
that can be on either side.
right, right, exactly. And it's like, I just think that's deep.
Yeah.
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 So then, and I want to mention it too, is that when you had said immortality,
Yeah.
how do you feel about immortality being, if somebody said immortality is the common goal we should be having for humanity?
I
What's your take?
wouldn't disagree, but I don't think our immortality will be in human form. Like, I think our immortality would be consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that should be one of our goals, is how can we study and grow consciousness even more.
Yeah.
And like I referenced the show Altered Carbon, like, learning to download consciousness and save it. And you can replicate it and put it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's dope, because consciousness, to me, personally, I think consciousness has a limitation in human form. I think the human form can't support
Of course.
the highest level of conscious, or even a higher level of conscious. Like, there's a higher level of conscious we just won't be able to reach in human form.
Right.
So I think one of our goals is how can we transcend human form? And I know that's like very spiritual, very scientific, but I think that's something that they're probably working on.
At the end of the day,
with
regardless of what you believe, we are spirit. We're spirit. We're spiritual. We're spirit beings. You know what I'm saying? This is temporary.
Yeah.
This is temporary. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. It might sound like, oh, it's spiritual. Like, we are spirits. Like, you know what I'm saying? We are. Yeah. So it's like you can't fight that. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So like, I think it's important to talk about stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think that should be a goal.
and your words.
Yeah.
Because as long as there's physical, everything comes to life, everything dies. And also you're limited to the function of a human brain.
Right.
Of the human body can only provide you with so much, and that's why we're trying to, fix ourselves up and adapt ourselves with AI and add things, because with this human body, there's always going to be a limitation.
Yeah.
Right? Your brain can only process this amount. You can only remember this amount.
Right.
There's always going to be a limit to it. So yes, your consciousness does get limited to a degree because you're in this vessel.
Mm-hmm.
And each vessel you enter in has different capabilities and different limitations within it.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, I think so, because we are aware that we're conscious. We're aware that we're spirit. So it's like, okay, how can I study this more and get this, and then now apply it and bring it into something else? And I think we're naturally going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So should immortality be a thing to push forward? I think we're always going to, at the end of the day, you want to keep surviving.
Yeah. That's the...
Right? This world has billions of galaxies. You don't think knowing that you want to explore and see it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think because we know that there's so much out there, we're going to want to chase immortality because we want to be able to experience so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I would love to live longer because I want to go to the moon. I want to see the moon. I would love to look at the earth from that perspective. Like, that would blow my mind. But then you think about it, like, oh my God, there's other planets I can try to... There's so much... It's like knowing that you're in this whole... Like I was saying in the beginning, like the goal is to fully experience this. Knowing that there's this whole world out there and that I won't be able to experience all of it, that can be... That's tough.
Yeah.
Because you're like, bro, I can leave the Milky Way? We can go here. It's like, bro, I want to see this stuff. So I think immortality is a good thing to push for once again. But I think that's a byproduct of trying to be the best versions of ourselves.
Exactly.
You see, like it's all...
They relate.
It relates to it. It's underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo.
Trying to be... But you have to try to be the best version of yourself, because if you have immortality, just immortality, with no guidance, it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need that underlying the best version of ourselves to carry up each individual thing and to make sure that we're doing it right. Because it makes no sense to be immortal if we're doing it for the wrong reasons. If we're just destroying and conquering, like, it does nothing, bro.
I was just about to ask that. If you were immortal, then what's your purpose?
For me personally, right?
Yeah, well, I want to know. Yeah.
Even when I asked the question about death on my socials like a week back, right? You know, when you're young and you're asked, hey, like, would you want to live forever? You always be like, yeah. But as you get older, you're like, no. You see the people.
Absolutely.
And this isn't for me personally. Like, I've never really lost people close to me. But just seeing in society, like, you start losing loved ones. And things start happening. And you start to see the ugliness of the world. So you're like, nah, I don't want to live forever. But just hearing that take, and over the last couple of days thinking about it.
Keep going. I forgot that this is a 30-minute for the camera.
I have 2 minutes here.
You literally have 1 minute left.
1 minute
All
left.
right, so let's just let them know we're going to cut and
I
re-record.
warned y'all last video. It cuts off at a half hour. So we're just going to cut it here and then we're going to resume that thought.
All right, we're back.
All right, so we're back. Yeah.
That was literally like 1 second.
Welcome back. Commercial break.
Took no break. It took no break. It was like, nah, welcome back.
But to continue off my thought, my goal, or I think humanity's goal, should be to just learn more about the universe. Because again, being in human form, one of those limitations that we can't just easily leave the earth, obviously due to so much variables and stuff like that. So, if immortality, if we could use it to study more of our own consciousness, but also about just answers that can't be solved right now about the universe, I think it should be that. Like Omar said, like use it for good. When we're young and they ask us why we want to live forever, a lot of it is just stuff that doesn't require us, just because we don't want to die.
Right.
Yeah,
But
that's usually the reason. I just don't want to die.
I just don't want to die. Like that's why we always say I want to be immortal. But if we can take it as, because I love that he said it, because I was thinking the same thing too as he was, giving his take. I think immortality is a byproduct of tapping into the highest level of consciousness. If you look at Rick and Morty, Rick can essentially never die. He's so his consciousness is so high. He has he has backups of himself and all these different things. So it's like I think
he truly elevates.
and he keeps wanting to learn.
Right.
So therefore he cannot die because he's like, bro, I have more to figure out. So that is the thing. So I think immortality would be a byproduct of tapping into the highest level of consciousness. And it doesn't even have to be like the immortality in a way we're thinking like we never die. Immortality could be even just I influence a generation of people.
Right.
And,
Right.
And I live on through those people. So that could also be immortality. So immortality is not just, hey, I don't die. At least because technically, if you live on through other people, you don't really die, right?
Absolutely.
If you leave a legacy,
exactly.
we're all kids. Our parents are kids. They are the legacy of somebody prior.
Right.
So technically.
Your only memory, because if you die and nobody remembers you, then
did you really exist? And that's what I was asking early on. Like, did you really exist if you didn't influence or impact anybody's life? And that's not to shun on. That's not to shun on anybody's existence. I don't want to say that in a cool way. Like, hey, your life didn't mean anything. It's just saying like, where was the influence? Where was the immortality? Where was the upliftment? Did you really make a contribution outside of yourself? Because your energy, your information, your knowledge, your wisdom, that dies with you if you don't give it to other people.
Right. There's no memory of you. The day you leave, your story stops because nobody can continue it or share it.
Yeah.
But as long as you have something that somebody remembers, a memory, I can pass it down. Like, yo, your grandfather was so. See, so now your story, your grandfather lives on because I told him the story that was passed down. Without that passing down, you don't get remembered.
There's no memory of you.
So that's crazy though.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's so super important.
Like you say it, but then when you really, it's almost scary. It's like your story does stop because nobody can keep it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the equivalent of physical, of reproducing.
Yeah.
In a way, right? When they say your bloodline continues when you have another child, like generation, the blood lives on. But if you stop, I guess that's in a strange way similar to your story, like your existence. If you don't pass it on, it stops at you.
Yeah,
but that's also
scary,
but that's also the purpose of life. The purpose of life, not humanity, but the purpose of life is to procreate and reproduce. So you also are fulfilling that factor as well. So immortality, yes, it should be. Let's mark that down. That should be one of humanity's goals.
Yeah,
is
I think
immortality.
So too.
But like we said, immortality, at least to us, comes as a byproduct of tapping into your highest level of self, tapping into your highest level of consciousness. Now, I'm predicting either we're going to reach immortality, like literally, like we get to that highest level of consciousness. Not us, obviously, but maybe if human consciousness continues to advance, maybe we do see immortality. Like I said, where you find a way to download consciousness. Like, do we get there one day? I think that should be something we push for with all the, technology and brilliance we have out there in terms of science. So yeah, I would definitely mark that down as one of humanity's goals.
So I think to the point you make, I do definitely think it is our goal. And just to reiterate, I don't think it should be a goal unless it should only be a goal if we're being the best version of ourselves. To me, personally,
I agree.
I don't think it should exist as a goal if that is not there. Because at that point, if we're just being immortal, doing the things we're doing now, bro, we're gonna destroy. We're gonna destroy this. Destroy the galaxy, man.
Yeah.
You know, we're colonizing other planets. Like, I don't.
We're parasites.
For me, I wouldn't want to see that. I don't want to see us immortal and doing the same things we're doing now.
Yeah.
Unless we're being the best version of ourselves, unless we're trying to explore just to see this world. Because I would love to live for a very long time, not forever, but if I can live longer and just keep exploring the galaxy and stuff, to me that would be dope. I would love to just keep traveling, you know, because there's a reason why I'm still living. I'm like, bro, I want to see this, I want to see that, I want to see that.
But is it attainable? I don't know, because I just feel like
immortality or like otherworldly exploration.
Yeah, I mean, no. I mean, like, because I feel like not everyone is obviously, like, this is us three, right? Like, not everyone's as genuine or has that mindset. You know what I mean? Obviously, we were talking in the beginning, like, that's the goal, right? For everyone to have that similar mindset.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, I don't think that'll ever happen. That sounds
bad.
I
don't.
Hey, it is.
I personally, I just don't believe that it's I don't think I like the theory, but I don't think that we're just gonna change as a human race. Our mindset, no matter how many people there will be that want to, I just don't know if it'll ever truly happen, like as a collective, you know what I mean? And that's where it's like, I just feel like, I don't know if we're meant to. I don't know if we're meant to.
So I guess that goes.
I don't know. I don't know. If that like it ties into a lot of stuff. It ties into a lot of stuff. But the good and evil thing.
So we're not meant to reach.
Just like in the good and evil thing.
Yeah.
Definitely go watch
It's almost
that.
like
There's a cap. Just like how there was a cap. We were saying there's a cap on it. Like at some point we have to be controlled.
Yeah.
There just has to be something. You know what I mean? Whether you believe in God or not, there has to be something.
Yeah.
Similar to this. I just don't think we're meant to tap into that.
To the highest level of consciousness?
I don't. Personally. I don't know if we're meant to to do that, because at the end of the day, I believe there's something higher than us.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like human nature is to want to be that highest power.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like we're just not meant to do that.
No, I agree.
So I would say throw that in there. I would say to throw that in there. You don't think we're already that consciousness? We're just not embracing it? Because if you look at it, if we want to use that in religion, if we're God's children, that means we are God because we have a piece of God in us. If we're God's children, and even in that way, and if we want to take it into source energy, if we're tapped in, we're already the highest, our highest consciousness.
You're saying we have it within us.
It's already within us. It's just if you're aware of it or not. If you're gonna tap, if it's literally like it's there
for you to
already,
tap in,
to be tapped into. It's already there. You're already, you already have that in you. It's not like something we have to go get.
Right.
You just have to be aware of it. You just have to make it a conscious effort to.
But I think what happens is we confuse. Yes, there's God within us, but it's God within us. We aren't God. You get what I'm saying? I feel like it's through God, not we. You get what I'm saying? That I feel like humankind gets that confused, where God created us in His image, right? And God is within us. But the fall of man was because we wanted to be like God. The fall of the devil was because the story is that he fell from heaven because he wanted to be like God. He wanted to be like Him. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, this is me.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that higher power, God, in my case, is where it ends. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, yeah, it's kind of hard to explain.
I get what you're saying.
So run with me here on
Yeah. Let's balance, bro.
You can't be God if
Right.
you were created by God.
I think that's
Right.
what he's saying.
Exactly.
essentially.
Right?
Yes.
But you do
Yes.
have godly energy in you.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
you can tap into the godly energy. Doesn't mean we're going to be gods.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
tapped into that power, that source,
Yeah.
that highest level of consciousness. But it doesn't mean we can be God.
And I
The
would assume
mistake
when we
is
say
because we do
highest-
try to be God.
Yeah.
But
And
you can't be something that created you. You,
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
so, okay,
I
yeah.
can't be
Yeah,
a God
when
if
you
I can
say-
tap into
when
that.
you say tap into the highest
Yeah.
level of consciousness, or at least when I say it,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not saying like God, 'cause- or whatever
Yeah,
you
but-
believe
yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah.
whatever higher
Whatever.
power, you know, we can use different names,
Yeah.
you know, whatever it means to you. But when you when you say you're tapping into the highest level of consciousness, you are not that creator.
Right.
You're just at the highest level of consciousness that is attainable,
that is attainable for you.
Right.
So when I say highest
Yeah.
level of consciousness, it's equal to me saying highest level of self.
Mhm.
Like, how
Yeah.
do you reach the highest level of your
Mhm.
individual self?
Yeah.
Consciousness, because
Mhm.
we are just consciousness and awareness. So
Mhm.
how do you reach that highest level of yourself?
Yeah.
Not source energy.
Got you. Yeah.
But I think we have it in us. I think we all can be the best version of ourselves and tap
Mhm.
into that highest level of ourselves. Just how do we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think
So
that's again
Because
where
I look at it as
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
if God put me here, there's a level that I'm meant to obtain
Mhm.
with the best of myself.
Yeah.
But the mistake that we make over and over again is thinking we're gods, and
Right.
that's where human.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's why I just.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's
So
why
it's like-
everything.
Exactly. That's why everything messes up.
Because we think we're gods.
Exactly.
We're like trying to be gods.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I feel like I'm a very optimistic guy. I'm very positive, but I'm gonna
But
take.
you
I'm
gotta
gonna
be a
take.
realist.
I'm gonna take. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
take
Oh,
the
yeah,
other
realist.
way.
Yeah,
Where,
take another
do
way.
I want that? Of course, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
realistically, I'm
Yeah.
thinking that that's just not gonna happen.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think it's gonna happen
yeah.
either. I think
Yeah.
that's a utopia. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what our conversations are designed for.
The strive,
Like,
at
hey
least.
man, it's not necessarily gonna happen,
Mhm.
but if it was, in theory, this is how it would happen.
Mhm.
Is to start
It's kind of like in Pursuit of
discussing
Happiness
it.
when he said, when Will Smith said, "Is happiness really ever attainable, or is it just the pursuit that's important?"
Exactly.
So maybe that's
Yeah.
that's what it is.
That's a
Yeah,
great.
strive, you
That's
know?
a great example because I think
Yes.
it is to strive, right? Are we all
Yeah.
ever going to get there?
Mhm.
No.
Mhm.
Is everybody going to be on that level? No.
Mhm.
But sometimes it could just be doing it on your scale, and
Yeah.
that's enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
If you can influence your small little community, that's
Mhm.
enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Now, can
Absolutely.
you influence the masses? That may not necessarily be your role.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
it starts with small little communities. It starts with
Yeah.
one person.
Mhm. Yeah.
If Omar can uplift me, and then I can uplift you, and then you uplift two other people, that's
It carries
that's
over.
how it starts.
Mhm.
Now, do we all get there as a collective?
Mhm.
I don't think so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm an optimist as well, but I'm also a realist.
Yeah.
Will everybody ever be on the same accord?
Yeah.
So definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely
To
not.
say it, I think, at least my definition, when you do
Yeah.
say optimist,
Mhm.
and I'm probably going to say it in a way which I think you guys agree. I think the optimist in you is the fact that you keep pursuing it.
Mhm.
So you're optimistic because you keep pursuing it.
Yeah.
Even though you understand the
Mhm.
reality of it, you're still an optimist because you're pushing forward.
Right.
You're still
Right.
pushing.
Right.
You know, like, look, man, I don't think this is gonna happen, but you're still pushing through.
Mhm.
You're
Yeah.
still walking, which shows you're
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Absolutely.
optimistic about it,
Absolutely.
That was a-
but you're
That's great
just
thought.
realizing, like, hey, man, I know this world. We as humans, there's this thing with ego, and I know
Yeah.
not everybody's gonna be able to fight it off.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you see, even in the Jedi, they try to bring balance, but no matter how much you try to reach this
Mhm.
place, there's always going to be
Yeah.
somebody over here that
Mhm.
just says, nah, I don't think that's the way things should be.
Right.
And there's nothing we can do about it, but I'm optimistic in the fact
Mhm.
that I keep pushing
Yes.
forward, even
Yes.
though I understand the reality of
Mhm.
it, that I probably don't think it's obtainable, but
Mhm.
I hope for it to be
Yeah.
obtainable, so I
Mhm.
keep walking because I just hope for it.
Exactly.
And that's faith.
That's a beautiful.
We said that, right?
That's a good one. Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah.
That's all faith is. And that's how faith,
That's
when we
faith.
see through, to bring it up, this tough to do, but when you see slavery, the people that's, I think you just said it, right?
Yeah.
To me, today, when I was watching Handmaid's Tale, I'm like, bro, I don't know, I'm gonna have to kill myself. And you're like, bro, but there's some people that believe that it's the faith of it all, even though this reality is like, bro, this is crazy. It's the faith that you're still optimistic that you're just hopeful.
Yes.
It's not knowing. It's knowing that it's gonna happen. It's just not knowing how it's gonna happen. So, to bring up the Handmaid's example, he's like, man, like, if I was in servitude, I'd have to end my life, and I don't know why people stay. And I'm like, some people, they just have faith that, right, this is what I'm enduring right now, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, like, and that's hard to break.
If you don't, what did you say? You give up.
You give up.
You just stop, and that's not no good. So you need the faith. You need that hope. You need that. You need to be optimistic about it because that's what pushes you.
You need something
forward.
to believe in.
Yes.
The definition of faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. That's the definition. That's the definition. I just think it's so beautiful, because
very poetic.
it is. I love the definition of faith. Like I love that. Like it's so beautiful. Like man,
say it again.
Faith. For you guys don't know, faith. It's not a hunch. It's not a feeling. It's the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So just sit with that and think about it in your own way. But that's the biblical definition of faith, and it, I think it's true. It just rings true. You're speaking nothing but facts. I got every episode. I got down. I love it. He's just speaking that truth.
You too. You know how the vibes be going, but
but I love it.
So we're kind of aligned. We think the common goal should be the growth and elevation of
to push humanity forward.
Yes. Leave the world a better place than when we found it as a collective.
Through love,
positivity.
Like I said, we have the potential not only to benefit just humanity, but every species. Like we'll have the technology to assist every species. Think about it's like saying, bro, you have a gift. You have the ability to affect not only you. This is when people say something to you, bro. Your gift, you can affect think humanity. I'm saying that to humanity. We have a gift to affect everyone every species, the environment, the earth on a grander scale with the things we're able to do. We can affect it on a grander scale. And we don't.
Great power.
You see, like that great responsibility, bro. You were given the ability.
I think of Tony.
Yes.
Yeah, he figured out that he could do time travel. Deep down, he doesn't want to do it. Tony Stark, by the way. Again, spoiler alert. But Endgame, Tony finds out that he can actually time travel is possible, and he almost didn't do it, but he knew that other people were more important. He had to be the sacrifice. And he knew going into it, bro, this is probably my last run, but think about how much people I can benefit, how much people I can uplift, how many people I can save.
You know what's deep about that? I saw a theory, or not a theory, but they just explained it, how the first Iron Man suit, spoiler alert, all that, the first Iron Man suit was made for him to survive. The last one he made,
12 minutes.
The last Iron Man suit was not to protect himself, but to protect everyone else. Isn't that deep?
Yeah.
It's just that evolution of his mindset from selfish to selfless. That's the goal.
Exactly. How do we get completely selfless?
Right.
How do we get it to the point where we just want to influence and inspire other people?
Because when you do, we think, and we go back to yesterday. So we think that going about self is the best way to bring the best out of us. But in reality, if you're selfless, that's how you bring out the best of you. We think we have to do it in a selfish way. But no, when you're thinking about your impact on others and uplifting, that's when you become the best version of yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Be said.
Exactly.
Totally
Right?
agree. Totally agree.
It comes with great responsibility. So you end up becoming better because of this responsibility that you have to take on. You become greater. So it's we keep thinking that the way to be the best is through self, but when you find through selfless, that's you just elevate. You do become the best version of yourself.
And
It's infectious. It's fulfilling and it's infectious. And like we said, it's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
You affect one person, they affect two person, they affect three,
Yeah.
and then it goes.
We just in that line we just lose focus.
Just lose
sucks.
focus.
Yeah.
But really, it's simple.
Yeah.
Let me make the people around me better, because in return they're gonna make somebody else better. I look at it with you being the oldest, right? You led by example.
For example, yeah.
I followed suit. I took the gems from you. Now Hassan gets it double. All right, I get to be the big bro to him. I pass my gems on to him. Hassan passed. So it's like that. It's like, bro, it's, inspire one person, elevate one person.
Yeah.
And they're going to pass it on, and they're going to pass it on, and they're going to pass it on.
Yeah.
And then it goes. So I think, and, we're coming up at the end, but I think that should be our common goal. Is to leave the world a better place, leave our imprint, because that's how we'll reach immortality. And immortality, again, doesn't have to be in the physical sense, like I, Reef, will live forever. I'm not saying immortality in that sense. If that happens, that's cool, like we said, if we use it for great purposes. But to me, I'm taking immortality in I can live on, your influence can live on, your energy can live on through the people that you influence and inspire. And I think it goes like that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I do too.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Absolutely. What were we talking about? Listen, we're coming to the close, but what we were talking about, even before all this came to fruition, you know what I mean? Like, me and you. We were just talking about how when we create content, why do we want to do it? And we want to be able to be authentically ourselves and have someone look at the content that we post and be like, that's Omar, that's Reef, that's Brandon, like with no questions, because we put it out and it's our real self, our authentic, organic self, meant to inspire others. Like that was the reason why we, what we were talking about. We want to do content. Exactly. So,
that was a great depiction right there. That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
Going into it for the right reasons,
Exactly.
right? We love having these conversations, but what if I said the influence is to be? I want other people to have these conversations like this.
Yeah.
Because then it opens other people's minds. So yes, we're getting fulfillment in pondering life together, but think about how much more fulfillment we get when you go into work and somebody's like, yo, this is what I think about this too, or I never thought about it like that. See the thinking, and if we can help elevate and just help inspire and unlock people's minds, that's how it starts. Because again, it is that snowball effect. If one person's listening to this conversation and takes something away, they pass it on and they share it with the next person. Yeah. And it's the same thing. If we come into wealth, how can I, and I'm not saying the rich should give away all their money, but how can I elevate other people? That's the one thing I learned from Dad is, he's completely selfless. Like, how can I continue to uplift so many other people? And I think that is the goal. Leave the world a better place than where you found it. And it doesn't have to be on a mass scale. Not everybody's going to be Oprah. Not everybody's going to be Michelle Obama. You can start in your community, in your neighborhood, in your school. Yeah. Be that influence, be that change. Because it's infectious. Yeah. Absolutely.
We're both put it together, man. I don't really have anything to say.
Yeah, listen, that was beautiful.
So
I worded it so nicely at the end. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I've done that.
Right. It'd be like that sometimes. So, this was another fun conversation. And again, there is no right or wrong answer, and there is no one answer to say what should be the goal for humanity. You know, that looks different for everybody. We know that, of course, but it is something that we should think about. You know, where do we see ourselves as a species? What is our future looking like? You know, we've gotten here, we've gotten past, you know, the basic level of survival, and now we can, you know, ponder existentialist things like how do we keep evolving? And is there a cap to our evolution? You know, that's something that I think we can explore through a question like this. So, super exciting, super eventful. You know, I thank you guys for, again,
come on, man, it's always
joining up.
man.
You
I
know,
love it.
this is fun.
These are great because it allows you to really think about the way you feel about certain topics. Should we be doing this? It's a lot of people just think it's just sitting down talking, but there's so much education that goes into this. You know, there's so much discovery. There's so much. Wow, like it gets you thinking about even deeper things and just you can kind of get caught into the day-to-day surface things because we deal with what's physically here, but you have to have these times where you allow your mind to go past what's just physically here, right here and now, and just ponder on things, dive deeper. Because then when you dive deeper, it also gives meaning to the physical part. And it can change you if you're in certain ways of thinking. To go deep down and dive into topics allows you to come out with a new, fresh breath of air and change this all. So I think you have to dive deep because, you know, it gives guidance and it allows you to see, like, I can almost like clay, like I can mold my life and change things up. But you have to have these thought-provoking discussions in order to get there. You have to analyze, you have to reflect, you have to share ideas and experiences. So
absolutely.
Yeah, man, it's always great. And, we do this all the time, and I'm glad we get to share with people. And now I love how, you know, B's saying it, Reef's saying it, I'm saying it, but to see y'all engage and share your thoughts, and you know, like even then you get to meet people on a deeper level than you know them because now you're getting to see their thoughts on the world. So these kind of discussions are great in all sorts of ways. So
I'm glad you feel that way. I think these conversations matter. I think these are the things that we should be talking about, like you said, that we should be focusing on, because it just unlocks our minds and allows us to explore reality in a lot of different ways, because we all have questions, we all have to contemplate life, we're all trying to make it make sense. And I think we can do that together through, you know, these kinds of conversations. So it was fun, and again, we want to see what you guys think. We have been getting a lot of feedback so far, and it's been dope. You know, people vibing with the content, you know, people have their own answers and their own questions that they're trying to figure out. So, you know, just stay tuned and, you know, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Please join in on the conversation.
Subscribe, and comment over here too.
Go like and subscribe and comment on his channel too. It's like we say, show support, uplift one another. But the biggest thing is just join in on the conversation. That's what really matters, and that's, you know, the biggest takeaways I always want, and I'm always looking forward to the question of the day. So don't be shy, man. Let your thoughts and let your mind be heard, and share your interpretation with the world. So we can wrap it on that. You got anything you want to end off with?
I am good.
He is good.
I am good.
So on that note, we're out. We signing out. Thanks again, fellas, for joining up, and you know, we see y'all next time.
Yes, sir.
Deuces. Yo, we always get that. We always just
Did you have a thing where it was like, who's gonna go first? Me, B, or me?
Yeah, I did.
I was like, because you went, and I was like, don't worry, I'm gonna go.
Nah, I was like this. I was last time, so I'm just gonna sit here and wait till whenever it comes.
I seen y'all in my peripherals, boy.
Me, I was like, I know I was last. So I'm just gonna sit